and welcome to this brand new edition of Lola. I'm going to introduce you to the most wonderful women in Atlanta. Seated to my left is the two-time president of NWAG. Please welcome Dr. Busola Eugenia George. Welcome to the program. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. You're welcome. And of course, to her immediate left is Miss Mfon Ufot, who was also a former president of NWAG. Please welcome her to the program.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you? You look lovely.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. My mentor is seated immediately next to her, and she is Dr. Winifred Nweke, past president of NWAG. Please welcome to the program.
Thank you.
How are you? Fine, thank you. Doing well. You look lovely.
Thank you.
Ever ravishing and ever smiling is my dearest friend. Her name is Mrs. Media Osai, past vice president of NWAG. Welcome to the program.
Good evening. Good to be here.
Without a treasurer and an organization, I wonder what happens. And here's the lovely Mrs. Adeshaki, Mrs. Bukola Adeshaki.
Good evening.
Good evening, and nice to have you here.
Likewise.
Our newest member, newest face, newest Atlanta member is, of course, Mrs. Toyin Oshinobi. Good evening and welcome to the program.
Good evening.
You have to pardon me for my not so African attire.
Well, perhaps it's good for you to know why we chose the colors.
Perfect. Why? But we're going to go before we go through that, I would like for you, Mrs. Dr. George, to please tell us a little bit about NWAG, what it stands for in your mission statement.
Okay, great. Nigerian Women Association of Georgia was founded in 2000. Its mission is to empower women, children, and youth, and to foster the Nigerian culture in Atlanta, in the United States, especially in Atlanta, Georgia. And you can be a member of NWAG if you are married to a Nigerian or you are Nigerian-born women ages 21 and above. Okay. So you are welcome to be part of this organization and share with it in the passion of NWAG. We cannot tell the history of NWAG or the story of NWAG without referring to Mrs. Dayo Keshi. Okay. Mrs. Dayo Keshi, the wife of the former Consul General in Atlanta, founded NWAG in 2000 because of her passion to serve humanity.
Non-profit organization created to empower women both here in America as well as in Nigeria. So we haven't extended your services through Africa, but you're concentrating on Nigeria at the present.
Yes, for now we are working with Nigeria. And of course our local community, we've been working with the local community.
Here in America?
Yes, in America, helping the homeless, the Osefe, the hungry, the battered women's shelter, Jimmy Carter Center. We are giving them funding for their Guinea Worm project in Nigeria.
How long have you been a member, Ms. Umfont?
I'm one of the founding members of the organization. So we were there from the beginning to support Mrs. Keshi, our founder, when she brought the idea to the community.
Okay, that's wonderful. It's good to hear. As past president of NWAG, Dr. Nweke, what are the past accomplishments of NWAG, or can I please, maybe let's bring it back to, how do you initiate the women? How do you recruit members into your organization?
Well, we have a June event, when we usually try to raise funds for most of our projects, and we advertise that in the community, and we attend other people's events, and have leaflets or fact sheets on NWAG, which we spread to other groups. And so, like the president just said, we tell them if you're 21 and you're a lady, either born in Nigeria or born to a Nigerian or married to a Nigerian, you are welcome. Initially, we, it was open for everybody to come in, but we realized some people were just going in and out. So we set up a few criteria, and we allow people to come in, attend a few meetings, and see whether NWAG is good for them, and we also see whether they are good for NWAG. So, that's what we've been doing now. We have, we've grown considerably since our beginning. So we started with maybe 20-something. Yes. Now we're more than 50. So, we've been growing.
Yeah. talking about lifestyle, and one of the questions we wanted to know was that, is NWAG predominantly for married women?
It's not a criteria to just recruit married women, but majority of us are married, but it's just, it just happens to be like that. It's not a requirement, but this organization is open to everyone. As the president stated, you can be Nigerian born, you can be born by a Nigerian or married to a Nigerian. And you just have to be 21 years of age. You can be married or unmarried. We don't discriminate.
Well said, Mrs. Osai. As a president, as a past vice president of NWAG, what has been the most accomplished, most satisfying and gratifying mission that you've ever participated in?
I think the medical mission to Nigeria recently, where we collaborated with Eco Club and other organizations. We are about 100 plus participants in the mission, and NWAG members, about 8 of us went to the mission in Nigeria. That was totally rewarding. Not only were we able to make a difference locally, we were able to reach across and partner with other people that were focused on the same thing that we are, which is really, apart from the medical perspective of it, to be able to look at, go back to Nigeria and give to our country the way the missionaries did when we were growing up. That was really rewarding.
What do you have to say to a woman sitting outside somewhere in Africa looking up to you, and what is the advice that you have for this kind of women?
I would say to you that any woman out there, if you have a reason or if you have a passion for anything, you must have a purpose in life. And when you're thinking about your purpose, some women have not really defined or have not been able to find out their purpose. Some of the women here that are members of NWAG have decided that they have a passion for service for humanity. And that has been the driving force, because we believe that making a difference in the life of others is more rewarding than anything else. And when we look at women all over the world, we are in the business of empowering women. All our programs, women, children, and youth. And when we look at women, we want to see women excel in every area. This is one of the reasons why we started giving scholarship to women. We want to empower them in various areas. We believe that when we educate a woman, you educate the family, you educate the community, and you also educate the nation. And so when we do that, we believe that it will trickle down and we have a healthy nation. So I think that when women are looking at themselves, they should see themselves in a position where they can be able to be decision makers. They should be able to take leadership roles and should be able to be caretakers of the nation. And so until we begin to empower women, they can never get to that point. And it just makes a healthy nation all over. So I think women should not be in the background. They should step up and be able to empower others so that we will have a better nation.
As the prime agency for women's advancement in America, I will say that NWAG is actually the prime agency in America. What are the implementations that you've put in place to reach the orphanages or to reach the individuals who are less fortunate?
We give out funds to orphanages in Nigeria. We support the Susanna Homes. It's one of the orphanages in the East where we supported a library to be built that they put the name of NWAG on. We have supported orphanages in Port Harcourt, in Edo State, in Abuja, to name a few. In terms of other things, even locally, we support the Battered Women's Shelter. So programs that really are connected to the things that NWAG is passionate about, which, as we told you earlier, is empowerment, education. So things that are
Tell me
focused.
about the healthcare, because you've done so many, you've had so many missions to Nigeria.
It's actually the way that the medical supply works is that the states that we actually donate to have to be a member state. So a member has to be there.
And the reason for that, though, is that it's important because of the value of those containers. We're looking at 250,000 worth of supplies. So it's important that we have somebody in the organization that takes ownership of it, from seeing it from inception to delivery. Yes, because if you just send $250,000 worth of container to Nigeria without anybody in the organization that has developed a partnership locally, we won't have the kind of performance record that we have currently. So I continue to be
because the fourth container that is going would make us, NWAG would have donated about $1 million worth of medical supplies. But also the partnership, which is something that we had alluded to. NWAG did not do that all by themselves.
Yes.
Many times the citizens of those states in Nigeria contribute towards the clearing. We have people, volunteers that come and help clear the items. And we also have MedShare here in Atlanta, Emory University, that have actually donated a container.
Dr. Nweke, you're passionate. You're wearing red lipstick. How do you keep, I mean, we're going to take it to the home front now. This is all about women, sisterhood, and things that we could talk about. How do you keep passion alive in your marriage? You've been married for a long time.
Yeah, actually we had a 30th anniversary last year. Well, you know, we call our husbands and men that help us NWAG. So, you know, usually we kind of roped in our spouses, you know, when we organize these things, attend meetings, sometimes very late. We come back very late. They're quite understanding, and they see what we do. They understand that we are not going there to gossip. We don't go there to fight, you know. So they understand that NWAG is different from a lot of women organizations.
Have there ever been any like gossips or juicy gossips or
in NWAG?
We don't have time.
No, it's not part of our bylaws.
Thank you so much. Thank you so very much for that expression. But there's another thing that I wanted to ask you, which is the trophy wife syndrome that is going on about in the community now. The men are going across the waters to bring in the trophy wives to America, and meanwhile the younger ladies are complaining that there's not enough men to go around, and the men are complaining that the Nigerian women in America are too sophisticated to be tamed. Or what is your take on going over the waters to acquire a trophy wife? I mean,
but unfortunately, when they bring these trophy wives here, after 5 years, the trophy wife acquire the Western values, and that becomes
5 years is a long time.
Well,
5 years is great.
Yeah, so that becomes a Western.
Is a Western value wrong for marriage? It's not wrong. I mean, what is the?
Okay, I think those who are. In fact, I'm hearing about trophy wives for the first time this evening. But I think those who go back to get wives are those adults who came here as adults. And they're probably too old to be marrying some of the young people here to the younger girls here. And so, seriously, you have the young girls and you have the young men, and they're getting to marry each couldn't there be
so the younger clash? Because you have lived here in America for so long, and then you're going back to Nigeria to get someone who has not been exposed to
well, that was the idea.
I think most of the time, I would say, there's some men, I hate to say this, but I mean, just have to say it.
We're going to cut it off.
Okay, if it's really bad.
No.
But what I can say is this. I think most of our husbands have gotten to a level where they don't feel insecure. And some do. So some of the men that are feeling threatened in their homes, so they just are not able to understand that women are capable of being successful just like men, tend to want to get these women or girls or from Nigeria or anywhere so that they will be in total control. I believe a man is always in charge. He's in charge of his home, not because he's a man. It's because of the responsibility he takes on.
Yeah.
And if they're going to bring a person or a woman from Nigeria, and they just feel that they have to relegate them to the background if that makes them feel good. They may just do that. And if they feel they don't need a partner, they need a slave, or they need somebody who's just going to keep their home and be in their beds.
But the misconception is that a woman from Africa is not wide-eyed. I mean, but the women from the motherland are twice or three times more outgoing, and they're more
absolutely friendly.
Actually, no, they're more versed with the traditions of Western culture.
To be fair to the men, when you look at the number of women, Nigerian women in the diaspora, and look at the pool they have available in Nigeria, there's no comparison. And I think it's all about choice, because you may live in America but not be westernized.
Yes.
You may still have all your cultural values and your cultural appetites. So I don't look at it as a negative thing. I look at it as a matter of choice. I mean, the world is your oyster. If you want to pick your wife from Nigeria, that's okay. But I think the challenge comes in when you are thinking that because of your values, you're very traditional, you want the old school way in terms of your home, and then you bring a woman across the river and you bring her over here, not realizing that even though you chose not to allow the developed economy penetrate you, that woman has her own being. And even though she appeared to be traditional when you chose her as a partner, she comes to this environment as a developed economy, and she has a learning spirit. She becomes exposed and makes different choices from yours. That's when conflict happens.
Yeah. We just want to thank you for giving the Nigerian Women Association of Georgia an opportunity to talk about the things that we do. To the women that are looking at us and listening to us, we wish them well. We want them, they may not be in the position that we are here now, but in whatever position they find themselves, I know that they can make a difference. They just need to look around them and see where they can make a difference to someone else. For us, we believe that makes our life full. That fulfills our purpose when we can wake up in the morning and know that we can try to make a difference in somebody else's life.
I hope you've had a wonderful time as much as I have, and on behalf of my crew members, I'm saying thank you, and thank you to my wonderful guest in passionate red NWAG. If you have any question, you can please visit www.nwag.org, and you're going to have all your questions answered. So again, I'm saying thank you so very much. It's been a lovely home, and lovely ladies of NWAG. It's great to meet you, and thank you for coming on the program.